Hello everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to my Beautiful Nights channel. I recently did a tutorial showing you guys how to make your own gift boxes. These turned out really cute. I showed you how to decoupage, paint, and how to decorate the top with this really pretty rhinestone mesh. Here is what the other box looks like. And I did this with several different sizes of boxes, and they just turned out so great. And I used boxes from the Dollar Tree. And you can also use boxes that you already have. Some may even have a logo or print on the top, and you can cover that up with paint and then the rhinestone mesh and hide it. So this was a really fun project. I will leave a link for it down there in the description bar. And something that I really liked about doing my own decorated boxes is that when you give a bracelet, for example, away as a gift, you're not just giving the bracelet away as a gift, you're also giving the box away, because the box is so gorgeous that they're going to love the box just as much as they love what's inside of it. And that's what I really liked about that. And again, I will leave a link for the video down there. So for this tutorial, I'm going to take the rhinestone mesh again that I got from Beebeecraft, and I'm going to show you how to make a little pouch. This turned out so cute. And there's a button here on the front, and yes, the button actually works. And you can put your pieces inside. So what I did is I took a bracelet and I put it into a bag, and then I measured my rhinestone mesh here to figure out how big I needed this to be. And I also did a necklace. I took a necklace and I wrapped it in like 2 or 3, and I got it to be just right. So I'm going to give you the same exact measurements that I did on this one here, but you can make this pouch any size you want. It's totally up to you. So this is going to be a really fun project, and you just don't have to use this for jewelry. You can use this for other things too. Here is the list of materials you will need to make this. You will need rhinestone mesh. And again, I got this from Beebeecraft. I will leave a link for it down in the description bar. I'm also going to give you a coupon code. Now, this stuff comes in 5 different colors. There's gold, silver, purple, green, and blue. All of the colors are really pretty. And some of them are being sent from China. Some are coming from US. If you spend $25 worth of items that are being sent from the US, you will get free shipping. Okay, so there's my gold roll. Here is my silver roll. They're so huge. These are going to last me forever. And you're also going to need beads. Now, I'm using these little plastic pearls. I want to say they're like 2 millimeters. They're the size of an 8/0 seed bead. And my aunt sent me these. Actually, she sent me a dress, a wedding dress that was cut up. And I don't know if she cut it up or she just found it cut up, but it took me a few days to get all of the pearls off of that wedding dress. And I've actually used a lot of them up in my projects, and this is what I have left. So again, these are like 2 millimeter pearls. I don't know if you could use any bigger, but you probably could use just a little bit smaller. If you don't have this size bead, you can use 8/0 seed beads, because they're pretty much the same size as this. If you don't have 8/0s, you could use 9/0s, and I am wondering if 10/0 seed beads would work. Okay, so there are some alternatives for you guys. You're also going to need a thread, and I'm using this old nylon thread. I really like this stuff because it's nylon, it melts, so like it's kind of slippery, so when I cut it and I tie a knot, it seems to unravel a little bit, so I like to melt it with a lighter. If you're using a different thread, you're probably not going to have that option, but that's just what I have and what I'm going to do. But you can use any thread you want. You're also going to need a sewing needle, and I have no idea what size this needle is. I just know that it's a sewing needle. And, or you can maybe use a beading needle, because you're using beads. I don't know. You'll just have to see what works with your needle. You're also going to need a pair of scissors and a button. I have this clear plastic button here. I actually got these from Walmart. It was a package like this big, $5. It was loaded down with clear plastic buttons. They were really pretty. They look like rhinestones and like diamonds. They had all different shapes. They were faceted. But I thought that this looked really great on this pouch here. So I think this is everything you will need. It's not a whole lot of supplies. I will leave the list of materials down there in the description bar below the video, along with the link for the rhinestone mesh and a coupon code. So make sure you check that out. Now I'm going to show you how to get the same size pouch that I made here. So what I did is I opened my roll and I folded this at 18 rows. So let me see here. Back one. It's like right here, okay? So I just folded it like this and I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, I have 18 rows. And then what I did is I got my scissors, and I actually used a bigger pair of scissors for this part. I'll zoom in so you can see. So here are my 18 rows from here to here, right? So you want this to be flat, and then you're going to start counting again. So right here I left off, I'm going to count to 14, and then I'm going to cut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So right after this 14 row, you want to go ahead and cut this, okay? And I already cut one to save time. The next thing to do is to cut it like this, so you have this pretty shape. Now I was thinking about leaving it square and just having a button here and here, one on each corner. I thought that would also look cute, but I'm going to show you how to do it the way I've already done it. So go ahead and fold it again at 18 rows, okay? And then you have your, let's just pretend that these are connected. And then you have your 14 rows going this way, okay? Now what I did is I kind of wanted to have like an envelope shape to it. So I went and I skipped 3 rows. 1, 2, 3. And then I started cutting in, stepping one at a time. Okay, as you could see, trimming one at a time, and then I left this here. Okay, which with this attached, it looks more like this. That's what it's going to look like for you, okay? So then after I cut the one side, instead of doing it again to the other side like that, I just folded it in half, and then I used my first one that I already cut as a template, because then it looks like this, and I just followed the side I already cut to make it match. So it was pretty easy. Okay, so then once you have this part cut, and again I'll fold it and show you, it's easy to know where you have to cut because you're skipping 1, 2, 3 rows and then you start cutting it, okay? So then once you have that all cut, the next thing to do is to cut your buttonhole. Now, you may have a different size button, so you might have to adjust your buttonhole. But what I did is I took my button and I just laid it here onto the mesh, and I saw that, oh, it's my button is just 3 rows wide. So then what I did is I wanted it to be in the center, so I counted 1, 2, 3 rows, and I have to undo this so you could see. So 1, 2, 3 rows, and then I cut these 3 rows right here open, and that's where my button goes through at. So I already did the same thing here. 1, 2, 3 rows, and then I cut 3 rows open for my button. Now if you have a bigger button, you might have to cut open a 4th row. It just depends on the size of your button. But that's how I did my button. Now we have to find the place where our button goes. And what I do, so that it's perfect, is I close my bag. Okay. So you want to make sure that it's closed right up here, that it's overlapping. Like that. See how these are stacked? 3 on 3. Okay, that's right. You want it to be just like that. And then I'm gonna go here and look. Okay, the center of my button is right here. Right? Is that right? So I'm going to catch I'm going underneath and I'm going to catch that spot. I think it's right there. Okay, yes, I got it. Okay, now I'm going to pass my needle through, so I just went under 2 threads right there. Now I am going to go through at different spots because I don't want to just be connected to those 2 threads in case they were to break. So I'm just going to go like this. Okay, and I just cut maybe like 1.5 feet of thread to do this. So I'm going to go underneath these 2 again. Make sure that you don't go through the back, and then you would be sewed to the back of that. Just through the front there for your button. Okay, then I'm going to pass through the button again. I need to pull some of my tail through. Oops, I accidentally sewed through my thread, so there we go. Okay, now I'm going through the button again. Okay, and then I'm going to pull this down just like that, and I'm just going to test and make sure that I'm in the right spot. Let's see, and I'm in the right spot. That is great. Okay, so I'm just going to leave a little tail here, and I'm going to tie a surgeon's knot. Actually, I'm going to tie 2 because this thread is kind of silky and it comes undone. So I'm going to go over and under once, and then twice, over and under twice. There's 1 and 2. Bring that down, pull that tight, and then I'm going to tie another surgeon's knot. And because I've already told you guys that this thread here is kind of silky, and I'm only connected onto 2 threads on the mesh, I'm going to go back and I'm going to stitch through this, and I'm going to show you how to reinforce it so that if those 2 threads were to break, you would be catching other threads around it. Okay, so I tied some knots there, and you can't see the knots, they're behind the button. So let's see, where am I? My thread is exiting out at the bottom. Okay, so I'm coming down here. I'm going to go back down through the bottom. I lost my thread. Let's see, back down, pull it through. Okay, so looking at the back, you can see I'm only connected here. So I'm gonna go, let's see, I'm trying to remember how I did this. I'm gonna go through here. I'm going over these top threads. Okay, on the side. I'm just connecting some other threads around it, and now I'm going back through the button. Okay, now I'm gonna come back up through here. Let's see, I'll do that again. Come back up through this hole. So right here again is my original thread that's attached. Okay. And my needle's trying to escape. I'm going to go back down this hole again. Right there, I'm going to go through the button again. And now I'm going to do, pull it snug. Now I'm going to do the other side. So now I have this. Okay, my thread's exiting out here. So now I'm going to go through this side, I think. Yep. So that right there. And then I'm coming out here, so I'm going to go down here. See, I'm just reinforcing it some on the back so that it's attached to more than just 2 threads. Now I'm going to go through the button again. Alright, let's see. So I think it's attached enough. So now I'm going to tie a knot, but I should probably tie it on the other side. So I'm going to go, let's see. I did pass through this side twice. I only went through this side once. I kind of want to be Xing on the other side. So I'm going to pass through this hole here so that this side has now been passed through twice. Okay, and I'm going to tie my knots here on the inside. So I'm just going to pull this snug, grab this thread here, make a loop, and I'm going to pass through the loop twice. Okay, and pull that knot down. And I'm going to go over here to some other threads, and I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, bring that knot down. So I'm just tying some knots, as you can see. These knots are not going to be seen because it's on the inside of the bag. Okay, now I'm going to cut the thread. And I like to actually melt it down because I'm using a nylon thread. It's synthetic. It melts nicely and it forms a large ball and it doesn't unravel, so I'm just gonna melt this down, and I have to be careful that I don't touch the mesh because it is made out of plastic. Okay, that went nicely. So it just melted down into itself. It's like it's glue, it's basically. It's melted plastic and it clings to itself, so that's very secure. And then I have this side here. When I first was going to make this pouch, I thought I'm just going to hot glue the side shut, and I'm like, well, that's not going to be secure. It's not going to last very long, and I wanted to make it look really pretty, and I thought it would look just plain if I glued it, so then I had the idea to do the pearls and sew it shut. Okay, so I used 5 pearls in each row, and I am thinking that you probably could get away with using 3mm beads if you don't have this size. I know that 8OC beads would work because they're pretty much the same size as these pearls here, and I am thinking if you did 4mm beads, it would probably also work for this, but you would have to use less beads, of course. You wouldn't use as many as I did. Okay, so I'm starting out by picking up 5 pearls on my needle, and I'm going to slide them down, and I put this together so that it's like this, and I'm actually gonna stitch through right here, and I'm gonna grab onto 4 threads. So I'm not catching just, let me show you, I'm not just catching these 2 threads here. That's not going to be very secure. It's probably not going to last very long. I'm actually going to go through right here, and I'm going to grab onto 4 threads. So it's very secure doing it this way, and the pearls really hug around the edge of my little purse here, my little pouch, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so I'm just pulling my thread through, and I'm going to leave a 6-inch tail. And by the way, I'm using about 5 feet of thread. Okay, so here is my pearls. I'm already going through here once. I'm going to pass back through my pearls, and I have to make sure that I go in this direction so that it's a continuous circle. So I'm actually passing through my pearls twice. So see here, I'm making a circle, and I'm just going to pull this thread through because my tail is super long. I'm going to stitch back through here. Okay, and my working tail is on this side, so I'm coming through the back to the front like this. So now both of my tails are meeting. I'm just going to pull this a little bit shorter here. Okay, and now I'm going to tie my knots, and I'm going to tie a surgeon's knot. So I'm going to go over and under one time, pull that down. So see how it instantly hugs around the side there? It looks really nice. Okay, I'm going to do it again, over and under. This time I'm going to go twice. And pull that down. Okay, so now I'm going to leave this tail. I will come back to this tail later, and I'll go back through. I'll weave it back through, tie a couple more knots before I cut it off, and I'll also burn it because I'm using the nylon thread. It melts. Okay, so now I have this. And don't worry about your knots being shown. The knots aren't really visible in this, I guess because my pearls are white and because of the color of the mesh. So I am coming out right here. Okay, that's where my knot's at. I'm going to pass my needle down through this hole, and again, I should have 4 threads there. And now I'm going to pick up 4 beads again, not 4, it's 5, that's right. 5 beads. And my beads, they barely fit onto this needle. Okay, there's my 5. Slide this down. Okay, my pearls are on the back side, so I'm going to sew through the same hole again, but this time I'm going to come from this side over here. Okay. So you can see I'm already Xing out of this side, but I'm just wrapping it around. I think this is like a whip stitch, but I had to alter it to make it work with my beads and with this mesh. Okay, now I'm pulling it, and there we go. Now the thing is, you can't just pick up 5 beads and go back around, because then this is going to be at an angle. So every time after you do your loop of pearls, you have to sew like this. So your thread is actually jumping over here, over these threads, going through here. And if you don't make that little jump, then the pearls will go on at an angle, and it's not going to look pretty. Okay, doing it this way, the pearls are going to be perfectly lined up. And again, I'm going to pick up 5 pearls. I have poked myself with this needle so many times. I've probably poked myself more with this needle than I have with beading needles. And it seems sharper too. Okay, there's my 5 pearls. Slide those down. Now they're on this side. Okay, so I need to go through, and you constantly have to pull this snug, by the way, it loosens up. So I'm on that side. I'm gonna come over here, go through the same hole that I'm Xing out of, pull this through. I will pull this snug here, and then pull my pearls down. Okay, just like that. And now my thread, as you can see, it's on this side. So now I have to jump over those 2 threads right there. these two threads, I have to jump over and go this direction so that my pearls lay straight. And make sure you keep this snug. This loosened up on me a lot. Okay, now I have 3 rows, as you can see. Pull that snug. And now it's time to pick up my pearls again. And every time it's going to be the same amount of pearls, 5. There's my 5. Sliding them down. This time I'm on the back. Right here on the back. So I'm just going to take my needle and go around to the front. Pass through. Okay. Make sure that it's laying right. Pull it snug. And again, I have to do the jump. Where is my thread at? It's going around this way. Okay. I have to do the jump. And I have to go over the threads that are right here through here. Now there is something strange going on right here. I'm actually caught around this thread, so I just have to fix mine real quick. Okay, there we go. Now it's right. I was just caught underneath that thread there. Okay, so now I can do the jump and go through right here. Jumping over those 2 threads into that hole. Pull it tight. And I'm just going to keep going, and I'm going to be repeating this all the way down to the bottom. And when I get to the bottom, I'm pretty much going to do the same thing that I did when I started. I'm going to pass through this area here twice, tying my knot. Here's my 5 pearls. Slide these down. Right now I'm on the front of the bag, so I'm going to pass through the same hole that I'm already coming through. And pass back to the front of the bag. Okay. Pull this tight. Looks good. And again, I have to make the jump. So, I have to go through this hole here and jump over those 2 so that my stitches lay straight. I think I'm gonna like this purse more, pouch, whatever it is. I think I like the silver more than the gold. It's really cute. Someone actually made me a pouch, a crocheted pouch that's kind of similar to this. It's smaller and I use it all the time for my earbuds. It's a gray and silver color crocheted pouch. I just love it. It was a viewer that made it for me. I know her name, but I don't know if she'll appreciate if I say her name on camera, so. Again, I'm picking up my 5 pearls. There's 4. 5. Slide them down. This time I'm on the back. And I have to come through the same hole, but I'm gonna go through on the front. Okay, pull that tight. And again, I have to make my jump. So I'm right there, I'm jumping over these 2, and I'm going through this hole. Okay, I always have to make sure this is tight because I had problems with this loosening up on me. So I'm now here at the very end, and these are my last pearls, and I'm just going to sew back through this hole again at the very end. Okay, but before I pull that up, I actually need to pass through here a second time and reinforce these beads. Okay, I'm just going to pull this thread tight and then pull this down. And then I'm going to pass back through here again. Okay, it's actually very loose right now, so I really need to tighten this up. Let's see. Okay, it's feeling better. Pull that tight. Okay, feels much better now. So I actually screwed up and I pulled a bead through, which isn't a huge ordeal. I could just pop it back through the other side. Alright, there we go. So what I like to do is not tie a knot yet, because it could pull on us and we need to pass through some more beads. So I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to jump over like we've been doing. That right there, go down. Okay, and then I'm going to come up a bead in my second row. I actually have a thread here from when I took these beads off that dress I was telling you guys about. It's a little thread caught in here. Okay, and then I'm just going to tie a half hitch knot. Go under the pearls, make a loop, pass through the loop twice, pull it tight, and then pass through the pearls. I pass through like 3 more, and then I tie another knot. Okay, so I'll pass through this one again, and then I'll tie another half hitch knot, and I just weave back through here following the same thread path that I just made. Okay, I'll tie another knot here. Let's see. Bring that knot down. So then I go through this pearl and then down through my hole. Pull this through. And then I have to flip this over. And I have to jump over these threads here. Okay. And then I come up through my third row and I tie a few knots, and I just do some reinforcing, stitching back through here. I go back to like these, and then I trim the thread off, and I burn the thread. Okay, I trim the thread to where it's like this much, and then I hold it like this, and I burn the thread down, and I also, sometimes I use my chain nose pliers, and I hold it like this, so that I don't burn my pearls or my mesh, because the fire stops there at the pliers, you blow it out. So that's just my tip there. So now I'm going to stop doing this. Well, I'm done doing this. I have to just tuck my threads in and finish knotting, and I'm going to start showing you guys how to do this part here. So as you can see, it does look pretty just like this. I'm going to pass my button through so you can see, have an idea of what it looks like. Okay, but if you want, you could just close the side shut and that's it. But see how this here is kind of blending with the rest of the mesh? You can't really tell that it's a cute little bag. So that's why I did this cute little beaded edge there. So now I'm going to show you how to do that part. Okay, so now we're going to do this beading right here on the very edge, and I'm just going to show you guys. So from a distance you can't really see my thread, but up close I'm going to point it out to you. In order to make this stitch work, it looks really good, but what I had to do was take my thread and go around these rhinestones. See my little white circle of thread going around each one, going all the way down, and over here I did my turnaround and went up that side. Well, these beads, they would only lay flat if I did the stitch like this. I was just trying to grab onto 2 threads that were right here and then go back into the purl and do my loop, but it was not allowing me to do so. These beads were standing straight up like that. It looked terrible. So I figured that if I went around the rhinestone like that, that it would stay flat, and it did. And I'm so happy that I did get it to work because it looks really cute. So I'm starting this right down here. I'll lay this down here so you could see. See right here, I have my 3 stones, and then right here, that's where I'm connecting it at. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up 1 purl, and I'm going to attach right here. So I have my 1 bead on. I'm going to go over top of this thread, underneath this thread, pull my needle through. I'm going to zoom in for this, guys, so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, just like that. Now I'm going to go over this thread, under this thread, and then I'm going to go over this one. Let's see, under, over, under, so it's pretty simple. You're just going over, under, all the way down. I'm going to go ahead and pull this through. Okay, now I have to go over this thread here, over this one, and under, and then through my purl. Okay, and I pulled too much of my tail through. I do want to have a 6-inch tail. Okay, so now when you look at it, I'm waiting for my camera to focus. Do you see how this thread on the left is going over and the thread on the right is going under? That is what's going to make our little beaded edge here stay flat. Okay, so I just leave it like this. I leave my 6-inch tail and I continue weaving. Now I'm going to pick up, I think it's, let's see here, I'm going to pick up 4 beads. So I have this one right here, and then I'm going to pick up 1, 2, 3, 4 beads and make my little scalloped edge. Is there not a hole in this purl? Okay, there it is. So 4. And that one jumped out of the bowl. 3 and 4. Slide them down. Once you have them slid down, we're going to do the same thing that we just did earlier. So I'm going to get a grip on this. I'm going around this one right here. So I'm going to, well, I'm not tying my thread around it. I mean, I'm going around it with my pearls. But I'm going to go to this one right here. So we're skipping this one, going through this one. Okay, so I'm going to go under, like that. Okay, I'm going over this thread, so I have to go under this thread. I'm going over this one, so I have to go under the next. Careful not to pierce it. And then I'm going over this one and under this one. So I went under that one, and then I'm going over this one, and then I'm going to take my needle and pass through that one pearl. And pull it like this. So now we have one done. It's pretty simple. I'm just going to keep going all the way down, repeating this. I'm going to zoom back out because I'm pretty close. Now I did not tie this thread over here in place because I wanted to make sure that the knot could be hidden. So I just left my short little tail over here and I kept going with this. Okay, so again I'm going to pick up 4 beads and I'm going to repeat this again. Four beads, slide them down, I'm right here, so my pearls, so see where I meant my pearls went around this one, so now my pearls are going to go around this one, and my needle and thread is going to go around this one, so I'm going to go under this, okay, my needle's going to go over this one and then under this one. Okay. So I'm under there, over this one, and then under this. Over this thread, under this thread, okay, and now looking at it again, my left thread is under and my right thread is over. They've now met, so I could take my needle and pass down through the first bead. I'll lay this down and pull this tight. Okay, and it looks pretty good. So it will loosen up on you here because I didn't tie that one off, and like I said, I didn't want my knot to be seen. So if you want, you can do a few rows and then take this and stitch back through 2 beads, tie a knot to secure this end. If you want, you can do that. I'm going to keep going with my stitch here. Again, pick up 4 beads. Here's my 4. Slide them down. Again, my pearls are going to go around that bead, that rhinestone there. This is called rhinestone mesh, but it's not really rhinestones. It's just faceted silver plastic that looks really darn shiny. Okay, coming out of here, going around, I'm going to go under this thread, over that one, so then I go under this one, pull my thread through. I'm coming under this one, so I'm going over that thread, and then underneath this thread, and then over the next thread, over that one, and then underneath this one. And there we go. Again, you can see that my left one's going under and my right's going over. Now I just have to pass through that one pearl. Lay this down and pull this tight. And there we go. It's so pretty. I really like the white pearls with the silver. Okay, I think I'm going to do this just 2 more times with you guys to make sure it's right. And then I'm going to get down here and I'm going to show you how to do this turn. It's a little confusing, but it's not that bad. Okay, my needle just jumped off of my desk. There it is. Alright, so I'm going to do this 2 more times with you. And make sure you got the hang of it. Pick up 4 beads. There's my 4. Slide them down. I'm going under this one, over that one. Okay, this one's going over, so this one's going under. This one's going over, and then this one goes under. Right? Yep, that's right. And then this one's over, this one's under. Wait, over, under, like that. Okay, that's correct. Pull this through. This nylon thread likes to twist on me. I noticed it's not like Fireline. Okay, then I'm taking my needle and going through that one bead. Pull it tight, and there we go. It's so pretty. Okay, one more time. We're going to pick up 4 beads. And like I told you guys, I have a mixture of beads here, so the ones that I'm using, I'm kind of getting limited on. I don't have as much of them as I used to. Seems like there's more 4mm in here than anything. Okay, there's my 4 beads. Slide them down. Again, my pearls are going to be going around this one, and my needle and thread has to go around this one. So I'm going to go under here, over that thread, under this thread, over that thread, under this thread, okay. And then I'm going to go over this one and under this one. Straighten this out. Just twist it. Okay. And then I have to go down through the first bead. Pull that tight, and there we go. It is so darn pretty. Look at that. We could probably make a bracelet out of this stuff and do the edge like that. That would really be pretty. Okay, so I'm going to keep going doing this stitch. It's pretty simple. You're picking up 4 pearls at a time. The pearls are going around. See that one there that's sticking out? The pearls are going around this one, and then you're going under, over, all the way around, coming out, going back through the first pearl, coming down, picking up the 4 beads again, and just repeating it. So I'm going to repeat this until I get down here. Now I'm going to show you how to turn around right here. This is where I'm at on this one. So we're right here. So I just completed this. I'm going to do this connection here, and then we're going to go over here. It's not as bad as it seems. It's actually really simple. So I got my 4 pearls. I just connected my last row there. I have to connect onto these 2. So I'm going to go through right here, and I'm going to be catching onto those 2 threads. Pull this through. And then I'm going to sew back down through the pearl. Just like that. I have to pick up 4 pearls again, and I'm going to connect onto that one. Slide them down. Make sure that's snug. Okay, my pearls are going to be going around this one. So it's this right here that I have to connect to, which is right beside this one that I did earlier. So I'm going to go under this thread. Okay, I'm going to go over this one, under this one. I have to be careful that I don't pierce any of the threads. Pull that through. I'm going to go over this one. That means I have to go under this one. I'm just going to go ahead and pull this through because I'm halfway there. Okay. I'm under this one, over that one, under this one, over. Okay. And then I'm just going to pass over that thread there at the end. And then through my pearl. I'm just going to do it in one shot. Pull my thread through. Okay, and there we go. We did the turn. So now you just continue on doing this side here just like we did this side until you get to the end, and I'll show you how to finish it off. It's very simple. I finished going all the way around, and look how pretty it is. It's so cute. So now I'm going to show you how to finish this off, and it's pretty simple. We're just going to tie some half hitch knots, so we're going to weave back through following our same thread path. So right here I am. I just added my last one the way I started. It's the way I finish. I'm just going to pull this tight, take my needle, go underneath the pearls right here. I'm going to make a loop and pass through the loop 2 times. That's my favorite. And bring this down, hold it between my fingers like this, and pull it tight. And then I'm going to pass through the pearls. I'll go through 2, and I'll tie another knot, making a loop, passing through it twice. Okay, now I keep going, and I go through these beads, and then I go up, down, all the way around again, come through these beads, tie a few knots, go up, down, all the way around, and I go to like over here, and then I trim my thread, and I burn it. And I just have to be really careful that I don't burn my pearls or this, because these will melt. They're plastic. So like I said, I like to use the chain nose pliers, and I'm very careful when I do it. And it is okay if you can't get really close right here. As you could see, my little burn, I might be able to trim this off a little bit. I couldn't get that close because I'm going to burn this. But it's no big deal. It's not that noticeable as long as it doesn't come undone. This thread that I'm using, this nylon thread, it's very silky like, and it does want to unravel. So that's why I'm burning mine. Now if you're using a thread that's not nylon, maybe you're using Fireline, you're not going to be burning this thread. You don't have to. Knots with Fireline stay much better than knots with this thread here that I'm using. So I just wanted to let you guys know about that. This is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like this video, leave me a comment, subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and make sure you click the bell button so you get notified whenever I upload new videos, and like me on Facebook. And don't forget to share pictures of the jewelry you've made from my videos on my Facebook page, and follow me on Pinterest. Thanks for watching.